Hi, my name is Jana Gamble. I am the owner of Purpose Productions. It's a Gamble LLC, DBA Purpose Productions. And I'm one of the top 5 finalists for the St. Louis Rise Private Office Contest. I'm so excited to be sharing this video with you. And I am so excited that afterwards you will click the link and vote for me so that I will win this office space. I'm in my virtual office with my virtual background. I'm literally in my bedroom where my office space is. I can touch my bed right behind me. And I'm sure you may hear these zooming cars on the street right out on downtown that are going on. And there's demolition on the 24-foot hotel that they're tearing down across the street. Probably a 2-year-old running up and down in the apartment above me as well. You may hear my dog and all the wonderful things that happen during my business day when I am trying to change the world. So my business as a producer, screenwriter, assistant director, author, speaker, advocate, and world changer. So through my business, I assist others, independent filmmakers, as well as networks, the whole gamut, in producing films and TV, my own projects, and everything. And that goes from the independent scripts and all aspects of a project that people are working on. So, and that goes from veterans or people that are just starting out and people that are trying to write a book and speakers. And most of these speakers that I work with have stories that they were not looking to become a speaker. Tragedies, they were chosen to have a platform for their life. People like Mike Brown Sr. and his wife, Cal Brown. Their son was tragically taken from them. Mike Brown and the families that they represent through their foundation, the Mike Brown Foundation, Chosen for Change. So I'm also the vice president of their foundation. So I represent them not just as speakers and through their foundation as a vice president. So I work on the film and philanthropy side of the gamut. So all kinds of work through my my organization and on the film side of my business. But I'm going to share some slides with you. I'm going to get into who I am, what I do, and maybe some of the reasons why I can't communicate so well with this. I've gone through a lot in the last couple of years that have brought me to this point, and especially why I need to have an office space and bring others into expanding my team, and why I need to rise with my team and others and to have this opportunity. So thank you for sharing this moment and giving me this space. So bear with me as I share my screen. So Purpose Productions has a mission to transform hearts and minds around the world through eye-opening entertainment, dynamic speaker and arts performances, media-focused youth entertainment, healing, and centered events. I've already introduced you. I am the producer, screenwriter, assistant director, and speaker, author, and advocate as well. So I am Jana Gamble. I am a single mother of 2 amazing children, teenagers rather, Deanna and Jabri Gamble. And our journey has been a unique one. I was raised by a single mother, an amazing dad as well. And my mom really instilled a strong foundation of faith, and my dad in his unique way as well. And so God has always come first for our family. And that's what built my foundation, even to build this company. And how I started my company, Purpose Productions, the name wasn't even Purpose Productions at first. And coming back to my name, Gamble, it was really important for me to have Gamble in my company name. It's a Gamble was the original name. And so I named my company It's a Gamble. And then when I started working with Mike Brown Sr. and I went to Selma, and I had been promoting the event of the 50th anniversary. And I took a picture representing Hands Up, Don't Shoot. And things spiraled. Long story short, after a lot of racism and mistaken information, I had to change my company name, and there was a shift and a pivot, and I prayed, and then came Purpose Productions. And so that's where everything moved and transformed. But before the company even came into fruition, my children and I were going through a transition, and I was already in writing scripts and working with my partner, Craig Thomas with Lovelace Films, and my children and I were moving, and it just so happened that the home we were moving into had been vandalized, and there was $12,000 worth of damage, and that put us into a transition, a point of homelessness. And God spoke to me, and I decided to start my business. And everything I've done in life has been at a point when there's turmoil or transition. And that's really when God makes me move. And so that's just the kind of tenacity and resilience that I have been given in my life. And so that's what makes me move and push and drives me to continue to move towards my purpose. And I couldn't find more of a fitting name than Purpose Productions to keep moving in what God's called me to do in film and television, and to inspire the youth to move into everything they've been called to do. So that really moves me into, I just want to tell some quick stories and why Rise, why should Rise invest in me to provide me this space. I just really want to move into these quick little stories about 2020. And in this screen share again, it shares that high hopes to unexpected devastation. And the first being in 2020, I was working with my daughter, New Year's Eve. We were working on our vision boards, and we're excited about all the great things. 2019, I had 2 concussions back to back, double concussed, and hence why some of the verbal and thought process communications are maybe a little slower than they used to be, those that know me, some changes. And so anyhow, still recovering from that 2 years later. And hence why I need an office space, and I'm hiring other people to help me with my vision and my mission and my purpose. And so my daughter and I were making our vision boards, excited about, because I have a lot of things brewing for 2020, new deals, projects, great expectations. And we made our vision boards, and it was a beautiful, beautiful New Year's Eve. And 3 days later, January 4th, my daughter, who's Olympically trained, goes to her indoor track meet, and collapses. And she ends up going to the hospital and stays for 2 weeks. And she goes into kidney failure and down to 5%. And almost has to go on to dialysis. And still, other than one underlying diagnosis, which is not the root, we still don't know what's heard what's going on, ongoing issues. So moving on, 1 month, coronavirus, then a shutdown. The whole shift of 2020. We're virtual school, my entire industry shuts down. We don't know what we're going to do. Financially, with her health, life changes. Everyone in my industry is talking and trying to figure out what to do. Still, as creatives, everyone's shifting and finding new ways to be creative. Look, we're on Zoom, and how much this blew up, and we're finding ways to grow. And I'm so excited that this has created a space where we've been able to meet new people and connect with industry professionals that we never would have had it not been a pandemic, and having access to one another in these ways, and invested in each other, and having time that we've slowed down. So in this time, I was able to invest in my daughter. And so that was such a beautiful way to connect with her on a level that we hadn't been able to before, or needed to again. And in that space, we decided to start a business together. And at 15 years old, we started a nail business, and she became a business owner. So she decided to start a business called Designer Nails. And she is a custom nail artist, a press-on nail artist. So she has her own business at 16 years old now. So I'm so excited to be able to invest in our young women and the next generation. I know that's part of the RISE philosophy as well. So I know that, as well as the other leaders that are connected to RISE, that this is part of the mission and the vision as well. And that's part of my heart and my desire to invest in our next generation. So just one more story, and I just want to continue to share why that I'm right for RISE and for this office space. But the tenacity that I have as a business owner to continue no matter what, I'm not going to give up. Not the concussions won't stop me. I've been through everything. Even when I could barely breathe, I had COVID for 60 days in 2020. And on May 25th, when George Floyd had his last breath taken out on camera, I continued to get calls and text messages representing Michael Brown Sr., calls from the family first, and friends, and then news outlets and journalists preparing to ask for interviews for Mr. Brown, and for him to travel to Minneapolis, and for them to have the first words with him and his opinion, because that's what the world wants to know as soon as any tragedy happens. And I'm in bed, in my bed right behind me, with COVID, and I can't breathe. And even, the length of this video is taking breath from me, which I still have difficulty with. So I can't breathe in my bed, and his breath was just taken from him. And a father has to continue to have the breath to share his condolences and his grief and understanding with the families that this keeps happening to, because we have a systemic racism problem in our country. And so I know that this is a part of the mission, that initiative that RISE is standing for and against. So I just want to share that on purpose, because that is something that I will never fail to recognize that I stand for and against. That I will not hold my tongue. And I'm a writer, I'm a screenwriter and an advocate, and I represent Mike Brown Sr. at all times on both sides. So if anyone fails to, think that racism isn't a problem or doesn't like that in their atmosphere, then I'm not, the space isn't for me. So I just, I stand for peace in our country and in our city, and growth, and anti-racism. So I have a purpose and a great plan I know God has for my life, and I can't breathe in this space anymore. In my office, this tiny space in my room. And I need space for my team, and I need to grow. And so that's where I'm going to share why RISE and why me. My points, my final slide here. Oh, my bad. Bear with me. So resilience, I already shared. I'm a survivor of domestic violence, homelessness, cancer, COVID, you name it. I've been through it, and I'm still going. I'm a fighter. And I'm determined what God has for me is for me, and I'm gonna keep fighting. Inclusion, I know, like I've already shared, I'm a Blexican woman, I'm Black and Mexican. I'm a filmmaker, and I know that this is a creative space that's probably not a part of the RISE atmosphere culture yet, but I'd love to be a part of it. And share my knowledge and experience, not just as a filmmaker, but I'm a speaker, and just all kinds of experience in my past work experience that I have to share with RISE. And even with my daughter and all of her experience as a young business entrepreneur. The stakes for me are higher than ever for the story as a filmmaker. Right now is the time to finish and to share our screenplay, my book that I have, everything that I'm birthing. The time is now for my company and for America. And expansion, expansion for my company is imperative. It is vital. And everything that I do, I try to do in excellence. It is a part of my philosophy as a company, and it is a part of who I am, that I try to do everything in excellence. And I am being the change I want to see in my industry and in my city and in the world. And I'm sharing, all for sharing that in that same energy with everyone that wants to rise with me, always, in whatever journey, at whatever atmosphere, whatever space that I'm in. So I just thank you for allowing me to be in this space, this virtual space with you online and here in my virtual home office, and hopefully soon at RISE with you. So thank you in advance for your vote. And I appreciate being here with you today. And I hope that you can follow all the work that I'm doing and continue to share, like, share, and follow me on social media and be the change that you want to see. So thank you again for your vote, and have a blessed day on purpose. Thank you.